signed a player. Who would have thought it? We've actually signed a blinking player. Welcome back to West Ham Official. I hope you are all well. Tonight, very quickly, I am joined by Mike. How are you guys?
Yeah, fine, mate. Fine. You all right?
Yeah,
all good, thank you very much. All good, thank you.
Good.
Good. So, firstly, your overall thoughts, and then we'll go into it a little bit further. Mike, to you first. Areola alone, and the important thing is it's an option to buy on the end of that loan at the end of the season as well.
Yeah, I like the look of that. I mean, yeah, that obviously didn't happen with Lingard. This is the right thing to do. It's a good start. In my mind, it's a good start. I like him. I think I said last year, if Fulham go down, there was a couple of players at Fulham I'd be interested in him. He was one of them. So It's a decent start, to be fair.
Anton, your thoughts?
Yeah, I completely agree with Mike, to be honest. I think that the fan base was probably pretty split when it came down to would we sign a goalkeeper and would it be a priority this summer. However, when you talk about two potential goalkeepers, Areola, who we saw last year at Fulham, and potentially Sam Johnston from West Brom, when the two of them became available, I think Moyes had to jump on it, and he did. And bringing in Areola, and like Mike said, I remember, and I think quite a lot of us probably all went, oh, we like the look of him. Well, why haven't? And then when we heard the story, the backstory behind him, why have we not gone for him? Why have we not looked at him? Why have Fulham went and got him from him? But do you know what? It's good. We saw what he's capable of doing. He's up there in the highest scoring charts for saves and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm absolutely delighted. Absolutely delighted with this one.
Yeah.
I thought we had to do it really because a keeper was needed. I mean, we saw what happened to Fabianski in the warm-up a couple of times. We saw Randolph couldn't kick a few times. I mean, if Fabianski was surely, if he was going to be fit every game, and Randolph was a decent backup, but neither of them are getting any younger. And I think, it's a good place to start. We needed a keeper on board.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let's see who's in the chat. Freshfielder, good evening. Good evening to you, Andy. I hope you are well. Yeah, we should have done this with Lingard, and now we know that we probably aren't going to have if it's a good signing and if it works well towards the end of the season. We know we've got that there, and we can go. Yeah, we'll have him 15, whatever, 20 million pounds. Let's have a look in the chat to see who else is here. And says, not bad, thanks, mate. just on train home 12-hour days today. Anthony Robertson from Fulham, be good addition as well. Hope you're well, Jake, Mike, and Anton. I hope you're well as well. Liam says, have you seen we're looking at Chelsea Zouma that we're allegedly about to bid for him? I did see that. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But X has said it wouldn't surprise him if something else came tonight. So,
so from what I understand, it's if something is happening, it's not going to be Zouma just now. It's going to be the lad from Fiorentina, is what we're kind of being told. So you've got this kind of circle of information that people get. And I don't want to be an ITK. I have no interest in being an ITK. It's nothing to do with what we do. Everything's secondhand information. However, we're hearing from the people that tell us some stuff that it's potentially going to be the Fiorentina centre half, and that could be something we could be hearing about sooner rather than later. Zouma, though, I mean, listen, if that is another genuine link, I would be actually quite delighted with that one because I do rate him. And the difference between Zouma and I'm going to try and pronounce his name, is it Milenkovic from Fiorentina? The difference is you've got one player that plays and already plays in the Premier League in comparison to one that doesn't, so he knows what's potentially expected.
Yeah, Premier League experience, mate. You're right, Anton. I mean, you can't beat it, really. I mean, that's why I like Abraham, because he's a proven goal scorer in the Premier League. So if they've been there and they've done it, and I think Zouma has improved as well over the years. I didn't rate him to start with, but he's got better and better with every game I've seen him play. So
I want to tell you a very funny story about Zouma, just very quickly. I've told some people on our channel as well, but several years ago I was in Marbella with the family, and I've gone to a play park. The wife was sitting in, going to a shop, and I'm sitting in the play park, and I've seen this big strapping man standing there, and he's got Zouma on the back of a French international top, right? So I'm like, not thinking anything of it, because you don't sit there and think that, well, that's going to be Zouma. Then the next minute you see a load of kids running around and he's with the kids and they're all wearing a mixture of Chelsea and France tops with Zouma on the back. So at this point, I Google Zouma because I know who Zouma is. And I'm looking at the picture and I'm thinking, that does look like him. But I think I'm getting away with the fairies. My wife comes back and I said, is that guy? And she went 100%. I said, he's a professional footballer walking around Marbella in Spain with his top on, with his name on the back of the top. I couldn't get my head around it. I could not get my head around it. I thought it was brilliant. Sorry, there's a random story for you.
That's all right. In the famous words of David Gold, "Don't go to bed tonight. Perhaps something is coming." We just don't know. Hopefully, it'll be a bit more successful than what he said. That what happened when he last said that. Let's have a little look. West Ham have just released this fancy graphic, so I think I'll bring it up on screen. So, Alfonso Areola, 3 Ligue 1 titles, 1 La Liga title, and he was in the 2018 France World Cup winning squad. This man's got some pedigree. He's got the know about him, and Mike, it's really good, because here's the big question then that people are asking: how are they going to split the games? If you were David Moyes, how are you going to split the games between Fabianski and Areola now?
Well, you got to have a look at both of them, haven't you? I mean, you've got to give them both a chance, and we got plenty of games, haven't we? I mean, we can share it out a bit. It doesn't have to be one man for one competition. I mean, I know it does work like that most of the time with a lot of teams, but it doesn't have to be that. I mean, we could have a look at him early on, or we could stick with Fab early on and then bring him in, see what he's up to in a couple of cup games, and if he proves he's done a good job, then maybe he gets a Premier League as well. I mean, you just got to give him a chance and have a look at him, I think. Fab doesn't deserve to be dropped. I like him. He's been a great servant to the club, and he's been fantastic. But
Moyes is pretty, Mike. Moyes is pretty faithful as well, isn't he? He's got that kind of. He does that with a lot of players. He never just rushes people into it. Yeah. I mean, but the only difference here is you have got a player that has played game in and game out at the Premier League. The only but to that would be is whether or not Fabianski has, or even remotely picks up a little niggle in the start of the season. And as you said, Mike, his kicking abilities changed dramatically because of that. And that, that could be it. And like I said, I don't think West Ham set out at the start of the transfer window going for the main target to be, or a target to be, a keeper. But because these two have become available, it may have just actually brought the attention to it. It's a win-win, in my opinion. Half his wages are getting paid by PSG. We've got the obligation to buy. I've heard it's £11 million. That's, I mean, for a player of that quality, played in La Liga, Ligue 1 in France, and La Liga in Spain, Premier League in England, and international as well. So,
yeah. I mean, it's positive, and we knew he was going to be making his way out of PSG, Mike, because I mean they've bought Donnarumma, probably one of the best goalkeepers in the world. They've got Navas, they've got a lot of keepers there, and it's clear they wanted to offload him. And with this obligation to buy, if it is £11 million, it's a no-brainer, really. We're providing he has a half decent season.
Like I said, as soon as they brought the Italian keeper in, it was obviously he was going out somewhere, and it's. Like Anton's just said, for me, win-win situation. Moyes, obviously, he's looked at him, he's seen him, close hand, hasn't he? And he's seen what he can do. And so far, you can't knock any of the signings that he's made. And he's looked at these guys, and he's probably looking at 2 or 3 others now. And we just got to trust. Well, hopefully, the guys our owners will get their hands in their pocket, and we'll get 2 or 3 more on board fairly soon.
Yeah, Anton, do you think it'll be almost like a train of London buses come now? One's come, and let's hope a centre back, a striker, perhaps a midfielder comes very soon now as well.
I still don't believe when I sign a lot of players. I really don't believe it, but I think there's going to be. Moyes is quite clearly set the tone. He's going for quality over quantity, and I completely back that. 100%. I don't know how many times we've been stung by signing quantity just to, and genuinely, sometimes we've signed quantity just to appease the fans. And that was the problem and the issue I had with Sullivan when we signed Pellegrini and then signed Haller. It was like that's, and in his statement he said, "There you go," as if like you asked for it, so we've given you it. But Moyes is going, well, do you know what? It's not about that. It's about signing the quality over quantity. So if we walk away from this transfer window and we've signed 3 quality players that enhance our squad, yes, it'll still be borderline thin, but I would rather that than have the likes of Gokantor, Nordveit, Faguli, whom possibly could have or could not have, and there was other players there as well. So yeah, for me, it's the. I don't know if it's going to be a role of London buses. I still think there's something in Lingard. People maybe think I'm crazy. I still think there is, because I don't think he's going to be getting the game time he wants at Manchester United. I was talking to my dad today about Lingard. I know this is not about it, but when you think about the Lingard situation, he's born and bred. It's his boyhood club. He's contractually obliged to go back to Manchester United. He loves the club, so he's going to try his best to go back there, and nobody can fault him for that. Nobody could fault him for that. So people are saying you go yes or no. If West Ham thought no, we will be going away and looking at someone else, and maybe that's why we're delaying that process, because we think there's a chance. I think there is a chance, but we have to wait and see.
Yeah, let's have another look in the chat. Pete, I hope you are well. And he says, future French number 1 now. A certain Spurs goalkeeper getting rubbish. True, very true. CB, I hope you're well. Even lads, absolutely buzzing. I've avoided Areola for a while now. I think we all have. Vinay says, forget Lingard, get him in January, perhaps sign Pereira and get a striker. I think we could see a centre-back, though, in with that as well. Hopefully we can sign those players as well, though. Scott, evening chaps, well happy with the Areola news. Excellent signing, 2 to 3 more top-class signings, and we're in for another special year. Hope so. As Scott says, hope the leg's up to 100% now, Mike.
It's getting there, Scott. It's getting there, mate. Slowly.
Yeah. Mark Brown says, I think Fabianski will start the season as first choice. I'm sure he will soon be pushed once the cup games are underway. That's
a kind of Moyes decision, isn't it? It's a kind of Moyes thing. That's what Moyes would probably do. And it would be a kind of slow starter to make Areola the number 1. But listen, at the end of the day, we're probably paying, if he is on 147k at PSG. So there's no ifs or buts about it. We're getting the wages subsidised. So we're probably paying him, I don't know what Fabianski's on, but West Ham are probably contributing more money in weekly wages to Areola than we are Fabianski. And that would have been signed and sealed by David Moyes as well. He would have been happy with that signature. So there's obviously a reason they're bringing him in. And there's obviously he's going to be getting game time. But we're talking about upwards of 50 games, 50 competitive games this year. So if both keepers got 25 games, they're getting games,
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Plenty of games to be had, isn't there?
Absolutely.
There is. And, people say, oh, why didn't we wait to do this next year? I think this is a very smart move now, because it shifts the workload. It halves the workload for Fabianski, or even more or less. We don't know. We don't know. But a source near PSG said West Ham have paid an initial £1.7 million for Areola, and as you said, Anton, a loan option of around £11 million if we do want to make that permanent. It wouldn't be Scott without him saying hashtag free Ben Rama, would it? Talking about Abraham here, Vinay says, Abraham, I fear, won't be as good as Antonio should get Zouma or Holzcheck. I can't say that geezer's name.
Holozic.
I think. I'll take that.
I think it is.
Whereas Peach, I don't know. I've sent in the link. It might be it. I don't know. Peach just randomly turns up. There's a reason why his YouTube channel is called West Ham Random. There's a reason for that. Let's have a look here. Vinay says Pereira has upset the West Bromwich Albion boss. I wonder what he did. Did he turn up wearing a West Ham kit? Who knows? Who knows?
The squads, haven't they?
Yeah. And he says Zouma would be a great addition. 26, not hit his peak yet, and has some pace and can play in a back three. Him, Diop, and Ogfather. Who knows?
Jake, what's your like target?
Oh, I forgot. What an Anton. Well reminded. So how many have you got to watch? We've got 30 watching. We tried to get 25 likes yesterday. Let's try it again. 25 likes. Let's go. We're currently on 12, so a double and a slight bit more. Let's get to the 25 likes. Let's go. Liam says, what are your thoughts on a loan move for Chamberlain? Personally, for one season, I would have him. Mike?
Too injury prone for me, I'm afraid. And we got enough of them. There's no doubt in the quality in the bloke. He usually scores against us, doesn't he? I mean, for me, I think there's better options. There's better options.
I agree. Anton?
I was going to make an argument the other day on one of our shows about why we would go for Oxlade-Chamberlain, and then someone told me about injuries, but they haven't. I've not done my investigational work to know what the injuries were. So if there were things like cruciate ligaments and things like that, I would be heavily concerned if we were to bring him in. But if they were like kind of a broken leg, I know it sounds really crazy, but a broken leg is better to do than a cruciate ligament damage or cartilage damage or something like that. So if his injuries that he's had have all been that typical, we can get over it. He's the sort of molded player that Moyes would look at. His career's kind of taken a bit of a swerve, and he would look at bringing him in and really, sorry, I'm just looking after my door, looking at enhancing his career like he did with Lingard, like he did with Dawson, like he did with all those types of players. And so I think Kent's put in, he's got knees and hamstrings, I think. Anton,
I think it was knee. I remember one was a knee, but I'm not too sure.
I don't doubt for a second, though, Mike, if he has had bad injuries, West Ham won't go near him, because that's what Moyes, I believe, is doing now. So,
yeah.
He would be similar to Lingard. He would be a similar sort of player. And like Anton's just said, he'd get a chance to resurrect his career a little bit, so it would be a similar sort of thing. But yeah, the injuries just turns me off, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I've got to be honest. Let me scroll back up the chat again. Let's go here. Rob says, I think that's key, Vinay. Fab should be our cup keeper, less risk of getting injured. I think this is the trend, and this is what I'd possibly do. I'd try and put Areola as the first choice, and then put Fabianski as the cup games, and then maybe split the Europa League games. It's a decision. Maybe David Moyes will just go, we'll just do what he likes. 1 week Premier League we'll have Fabianski, the next we'll have Areola. We just don't know. We need 3 likes, 36 watching our like target. Let me take this off. Our like target is 25 likes. We need 2 more likes. Come on, 2 more likes. Let's get that.
If you are watching right now, head to that little thumbs up. Not the thumbs down. And I think they're like, is it like there? I think it is. Just do it, because it helps Jake's channel out. It pushes his channel into the algorithm. Mila is even telling you to do it. So go to the thing and hit the thumbs up. There
we go.
Thumbs up.
Listen to Anton. Have we done it yet? There we go. 27 likes. Right, next one, 50. Come on, let's get to 50. It's not possible, but come on, let's do it. Let's always have a target. Let's get to 50 likes. There we go. Let me update that. Right then. So let's take a few more comments then. Andy says, me personally, I think Fabianski is professional and knows he's not getting younger and would be great. Would be a great understudy, and Areola will learn a lot from him. Yeah, I agree. And I think, because I went through videos coming out tomorrow. I went through the keepers that we've got at the club. Nathan Trott's out on loan in France, I think. So we've got David Martin there, not going to play any games, and I think he's probably there to mentor more as a coach for the younger players like Anang, the keepers coming through, and something like that. Because now with the signing of Areola, he's not going to get any game time at all. Not that he would have done anyway. He could potentially be our number 1 for our next 5 to 6 years. Brilliant news! It is. He has taken. I think he's number 13. So he's taken the legendary Adrian's number. What a man.
And Roberto.
Oh, God. Yeah, don't go.
Oh, dear.
Sorry.
Vinay says, Areola was very humble. He said that the team is the most important thing. He knows Fabianski is an excellent keeper, just older than him. Kent says Areola is a no-brainer signing, and the future fee is cheap as chips. Will Randolph leave now? So this is the thing. Will Randolph leave? Will Martin leave? Martin just signed a new contract, which I was surprised about. What do you think is going to happen? Because surely we've got to let go a keeper, Mike.
Yeah, want to go. I think Randolph will go, to be totally honest. Yeah, he'd probably get picked up by another Championship club where he played week in, week out. To be fair to him.
Yeah, it's an interesting one with Randolph, isn't it? I mean, there's absolutely nothing to say we don't continue this season with 4 keepers, because if one of our keepers doesn't get injured, but if they do, then you do need to kind of strengthen that position with the amount of games that we're playing. So I kind of wouldn't be surprised if they don't go, or if any of them don't go. David Martin's happy to be in the position he is, and he may pick up a sporadic game somewhere, but it depends on what stage you are at in your career. Randolph is still the Republic of Ireland goalkeeper. They're still in with a chance, as most teams are, for the World Cup. So maybe he's got that in his mind and he's thinking, I want to go and play first team football, and that could be the option why he wants to go. I think Anang, he's out on loan as well. He's out on loan. Nathan Trott's out on loan. So really that just brings us those 4 goalkeepers. So I wouldn't be surprised if we continued the full, but it could be down to the fact Randolph wants to go.
Yeah, it could be, to just finish off his career actually playing some football. Right, we've increased our watching, got 46 watching, there's only 31 likes. Come on, let's sort it out. Let's at least get up to 40. Let's go.
If you're watching right now, head to that thumbs up and hit that thumbs up, because that helps out Jake's channel. Also, if you're new around here, subscribe to his channel. There's a button down there, see it? Somewhere down there. Just subscribe. It's cheeky, just gets you done. Move on, and then you get notified when his shows are coming out. But go and hit that like button. It totally helps his channel. Sorry.
That's all right. No. Andy says, hit the like button. And he says, Randolph will be going West Brom as part of a deal for Pereira. Johnston could go to Watford or something like that. Interested, Randolph in a Pereira swap deal. We'll just have to wait and see. Interesting shout.
But I mean, sorry to interrupt, but if he does go, if Johnston does go, and it looks like he is, because the manager of West Brom said, I expect to lose Pereira and Johnston. He's physically said those words. If he does go, they're going to be looking at a new goalkeeper. So offering them a player, like Randolph, and if you take into consideration the Diangana fee that's still owed, you've got 2 bits of dangling some, bait there to try and bring the Pereira deal over the line if he is a genuine link. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry.
I think Pereira's a good move. Sorry, Jake, as well, because I think, to be honest, if Lingard's not coming, and if we still get him in January, great. I think that'd be great for us. But we do need someone to fill that role. I know Ben Rama could come in there and do the same sort of thing, but I personally would like to see Pereira come. Yeah, I'd like him on board. If that's the next signing, I'd be well chuffed with that.
Yeah. Liam says West Ham is literally the land of opportunities. We reboot Lingard's career and Areola Sands, possibly Chamberlain. Who knows? Let's have a look here. Liam says my cousin's a huge Chelsea fan, and he says that we can have Zouma for free.
But the thing is, from my outsider's point of view, looking at how Zouma performed last season, and we had a couple of Chelsea fans on, I was under the impression that Zouma hit form last season. So I'm a bit kind of like, I don't know if there is that. I don't know maybe if there's that kind of what his previous time at Chelsea was doing, but last year, a bit like Ogbonna. Ogbonna is like a fine wine. He's grown in everything he's done at West Ham. But if you'd have looked at Ogbonna 4 seasons ago, last season at Upton Park, he wasn't a competent central defender and had to be guided through a game. He's became that competent central defender that is the Stonewall man at the back. And I wonder if Zouma is that guy at Chelsea as well.
Yeah, it could be.
I've watched him, I've watched him over the years, and I must admit, to start with, I thought he does look a bit dodgy on the ball, and he can be found out. But I think he's improved, so I'd be happy with him. I would.
Yeah. From the Anvil, James, I hope you're well. Areola brings a winning mentality due to the trophies he has won. He is also wanting a permanent club to have a long-term future somewhere rather than being loaned out. West Ham can offer him this. I completely agree. John, I hope you are well. David says, great show, guys. Thank you very much. Trying to work it out. A first 11 and second 11 does work out short of a defender, attacking midfielder, and a striker. Trust Moyes all day long. Yeah, I completely agree. We are missing players in those positions.
I think we might find this season as well. I said in an earlier video we done today that we're going to see that rotation, but we're going to see that rotation used a lot during the game, not just the rotation game on game. So you could have an 11 out for the first half, and I think we might see Moyes changing things a lot earlier with a lot more substitutions in the second half of games. So, I think players are going to have to get to grips and understand that they may only get 45 minutes here, 60 minutes there, 70 minutes there. And I think that's the way that West Ham fans, we get ourselves in such a rut because we're not used to this world. We're not used to this. We're not used to potentially this quality or this type of manager that's changed our mindset into bringing players in, and good quality players rather than quantity. We're still in the mindset of going, let's just bring in 5-6 players. Let's spend £50 million because they must be good if we spend £50 million. Moyes has changed my opinion on that. You don't have to be £50 million to be good. You can be 5 like Vladimir Coufal. You can be 18 like Thomas Suchek. You can be 3 or 2 or whatever we paid for Craig Dawson, and look what's happened. So So there you go. Anton, if I had a bang on the head, what have I said? I don't know what I've said.
And he says, can I just say I was impressed Areola's English in his interview and mentioned the fans about, and of course with a new senior signing we had the come on you irons. I think it was come on you irons. The last time we heard that was Jesse Lingard saying that, very similar. But don't we love that from a new player? Don't we love that indeed? Oh, and the comments have just skipped. Let me scroll back up again. Let's have a look here. I'm gonna go here. Right. Casey says, good evening, Chaz. When we thought we all had the answers, David Moyes changed the questions. In Moyes we trust. Hope you're all well. Indeed. Indeed. Fresh Fielder says, gotta be happy with Areola. He'll be number 1 soon enough. And just as I say that, we've got another guest. It's not Peach, but it's James. James, how are you?
James, you all right?
Brilliant,
Hi,
mate.
James.
That's the sort of signings. All right, lads. That's all the signings that we want to see at West Ham. That's the sort of players that we need to be signing, not Roberto from League One. Do you know what I mean? It's a great signing. And it's gonna he can be our number 1 goalkeeper for the next 5 years easily.
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
buzzing.
I know. If you were David Moyes, then James, how would you split the games between Areola and Fabianski?
Areola's at number 1 for the future. Like, Fab's done his job, but do you know what? I think Fabianski would quite happily take a few games in the Europa, a few cup games, and if we give Areola the league, do you know what I mean? He knows the league. But do you know what? It doesn't really matter, mate. They're both good goalkeepers. I like Areola. I remember speaking to Mike a long time ago on your show, and we both said if we can get Areola through the door, we'd be over the moon. And I just think he's the best out there. He's better than Sam Johnson. He's better than Ramsdale. Do you know what I mean? And now we've got him. That's the sort of signings that we need to be signing. We can't be going out trying to get people who we have no idea about and expect them to keep us in the league. So yeah, I would have him as the Premier League goalkeeper this season, mate. 100%.
Yeah. Ben says, is Pereira actually going to happen, lads? Leicester scaring me. It's all up in the air. Nothing's been officially confirmed with, medicals and all of that. But something else could happen tonight. I don't think it's going to be Pereira, but something could happen. Andy says, Zouma is a threat in the box, and we love set piece kings. We do indeed. The Czech lad says, fresh fielder Jakub Jankto would be cheaper than Pereira and can play anywhere in midfield and across the front three. Mike, your thoughts on that? I mean, it's another Czech lad.
Yeah, another Czech lad. They've done well so far, haven't they? But I just think Pereira, he's proved himself in the Premier League. He was West Brom's best player by far, and you shut him out of the game and you beat West Brom most of the time. So, yeah. I would go for him in front of the Czech guy, even though we've had a lot of, obviously positiveness with the 2 Czech guys that we've taken on so far. So, I don't know. I think Pereira would be a great signing for us. I think he'd be another one that would just give us that more attacking threat and a bit of flair. if we don't get Lingard. I mean, for me, if we get Lingard, then it was different. But I think that's gone off the boil at the moment. And like Anton said, it's still a possibility it might happen in January. If it does, great. But we're still short in a couple of areas. And a defender is one, a midfielder is one, and a striker is the other.
Yeah.
I don't think Lingard's over, mate, if I'm honest.
It may not be.
In there.
It may not be.
I don't think it's over yet, mate. Until they put their 25-man squad in. If he's not in it, he's going to have to go, isn't he? So, to me, that ain't over yet. The moment the window ends and he's still there, that's when it's over. Because he'd have signed a new deal in like October or something. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't think it's over yet. I think the moment that Man United do put that 25-man squad in and his name's not on that list, then he will know that he's surplus to requirements at Old Trafford. And then that's when West Ham have got to step up and go and offer 20 million. So,
Yeah. Couple of plugs tonight, 9 p.m. on the channel. I've got an interview with a football super agent, Godfrey Torto. So check that out, 9 o'clock tonight if you are about. That'd be greatly appreciated. And hit the like button as well. We're 10 likes away. There's 55 people watching. We're on 40 likes. No, don't hit it. Smash that like button. Let's get up. Let's get up to that target. As Anton is saying, hit that one. Don't hit that one. Hit that one. There. It would be greatly appreciated.
Hit the like button.
David says, Anton made a great point earlier about no one predicted how well Dawson would do. So can Moyes bring the best out of Zouma? Anyone want to jump in there?
I don't even know if it's just about Zouma. I think it's just about any player. So if you put the faith in the manager's going to sign the players that he wants, and if he sees the best in those players and can bring out the best in those players. The point I was making about Craig Dawson was, he brought him in for cover. However, he obviously had the faith that he could step up if needed to. And if you look at Craig Dawson's history, out with the fact he played for clubs that were either relegated, etc., he played as part of a team that had to get relegated or a goalkeeper that wasn't performing to the top level. But when you look deeper into the stats of what Craig Dawson did, up until he joined West Ham, he never had a single error leading to goal before he came to West Ham. So there's obviously attributes that David Moyes is looking at for players, and that's what he's done with the likes of Craig Dawson. So if he wants the player like Zouma, or if he wants the player like Milenkovic from Fiorentina, then he's going to get the best out of them, and that's where the faith comes in the manager.
Yeah.
The thing is with Dawson, you said it in the first sentence. He's a cover defender. Like, he's not a sort of person who's going to go and play 25 games in a season or a whole season. We need pace at the back. That's the problem with us, right? We're very static at the back, and pace kills us. Like, it's proved it last year against top teams. Like, when pace just goes cut straight through us. And Dawson, for where we done, I won't knock him for the price tag that he cost, but he's not the saviour. Like, I want to see a young centre half back there. Zouma's a good signing. Good in the air, good set pieces, good at free kicks, like corners, everything, right? And he will be a beast at the back there. Like, do you know what I mean? Angelo Bonner can't do it forever, and Craig Dawson is just a covering defender. Let's be honest. So, I think we need two centre halves. If I'm honest. Like,
so do I. Because I don't think that he trusts Diop, and I've watched a couple of the friendlies, and
I don't trust Diop.
He's got caught round the wrong side of the man yet again, like he does on that long ball. And, Moyes has seen that again, and he's thinking, is he ever going to switch on? I'd love to see him do it. Don't get me wrong. I like Diop, but he just gets caught in a dream.
There is a good player there in Diop, though.
Yeah, there is a player.
Yeah.
I totally agree. There is a player that could come out there, but until he gets that sorted out, that long ball catches him out the wrong side of the man. In poor position, it's happened too many times.
I think Moyes has clocked on to the style of defender that he definitely is looking for. So if you think about Ogbonna and Diop, they're too similar. They don't play together. They're both the stepping out centre half, and when they play together, they've got no one in it behind to protect. So when you played the likes of, say, Balbuena, who was the defender who sat in behind, who was more calm and collected, that worked when it was with Diop. That worked when it was with Ogbonna. Craig Dawson's the player that sits in behind and that can protect. Yes, he is. I agree with you, James. He is absolutely the player that was brought in for cover. but then obviously he was forced into being catapulted into the team, and therefore having the right mix and match of players at the back would work. So my only real concern about Zouma is he is a big stepping out defender. He goes up, he wins the headers, he goes and steps out for the tackle. I think he's a fantastic defender, and if he's been brought in as potentially to take over the role of Ogbonna, absolutely. My concern would be putting Zouma, Diop and Ogbonna in the back line, because the three of them step forward and no one would be in to protect the line in the back.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
I'm going to say this now.
I understand what you're saying there.
It's unpopular, but I don't know. Diop does not fill me with any confidence at all. And I know Craig Dawson made errors last season, but he had some very good games and kept us in a lot of games. I just feel more confidence with Craig Dawson next to Ogbonna than I do with Diop, to be honest, because
but the thing is there, though, Jake,
does not fill me with any confidence.
Yeah, the thing is there, though, Jake, right? If we all go back to Newcastle away last season when Craig Dawson had an absolute mare and got sent off after 30 minutes, right? If that was Diop, everyone would be going through the roof saying, yeah, out the door and all that. So, like, I understand what you're saying. Issa Diop is a good player, right? But he's lost his way. He's lost his confidence. You don't go and get touted £65 million from Man United in your first season if you're rubbish. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, he needs to work on. I know there comes a time when you hold your hands up and go, you know what, enough's enough now. Like, we've done 2-3 years with this lad and he's just not going anywhere. But everyone said that about Angelo Ogbonna many years ago. And people have got short memories and they need to start going back and thinking to themselves, like, with Ogbonna, everyone wanted him out the door, and Cresswell for that matter. And they've been two of our best defenders recently.
I said that, James. I was one of the guys that said I wanted Ogbonna out the door. I genuinely only think Ogbonna stepped up to the plate in the last season and a half, or 2 seasons in particular. But before that, I would have happily waved goodbye to Ogbonna. But I can hold my hand up and admit that. But yeah, no, I get the sentiment behind Craig Dawson, but he's definitely, I think we all know that he's not the main centre-half that West Ham want to be back there. David Moyes, I think, is making that quite clear with his intent to go out and sign players in that position. But the thing is, he has stepped up. He's done a good job. He's considering we didn't even think he was going to be in there. I totally agree with the sentiment behind Diop as well. I absolutely think he is a quality player in there. I totally believe it. I think if West Ham could keep him and Moyes could do what he does with other players and find a partner for him, then he could go on and become like you said, James. I mean, he was the captain of Toulouse, was he not, at 19? Yeah. I mean, the guy's obviously got attributes. Yeah, he's a decent player. It's just the confidence is not.
He's lost his way. That's what it is. The problem is, like, and we're all West Ham fans here. We all know how we all work. Like, when the player has a bad game, everyone wants him gone. Like, people were calling for Ben Rama to go last season. Like, and Ben Rama, like, if not mention about him. But the way I look at this is with Diop is he's young, he's mobile, he's athletic, and he's got pace. Right? I know he's defending. He's a bit left to be desired. I understand that. But there comes a time where, like, we can't keep having Angelo Bonner's good because his positional play is excellent. Like, because he very rarely gets out of position, but he's got no pace. So if you're up against like Rashford or someone who's lightning quick, he's going nowhere. Do you know what I mean? So I just think, like, we do need a centre half with pace, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I think Moyes sees something and everyone sees something, because Mourinho really fancied him, didn't he, in Diop?
Yeah.
Moyes does see something there and he wants to keep him. He does, and he wants to work with him and he wants to make him a better player. And like I say, he's got the attributes. You know, he's got a pace, he's got power, he's a big lad. I mean, it's just getting that mental side of things sorted and a bit of confidence.
Don't worry, lads. Phil Jones is coming.
Scary,
man. Oh, no, don't do that.
Oh dear. Let's take a look at the chat. Right then, how many likes are we off 50? We are 7 likes off. Come on then. Somebody asked what happens at 50 likes. Somebody on here. Somebody will say something to do with Andrei Yarmolenko. What's happening at 50 likes?
Don't know, mate. We might sign another player. Do you know what I mean?
Talking of signing another player. So, this has just been released on Twitter. I've no idea whether this is a.
That's what I was just reading, actually.
Yeah. Whether this is a real rumor or whatever, but West Ham have prepared an offer of around 20 plus €2 million, so around what 22 million pounds for West Brom's Matheus Pereira.
One thing I think that I've one thing I think I've learned, especially over the time doing the kind of social media platforms that we do and the YouTube channels and stuff like that, is I think there's so many ITKs out there. There's so many people that are desperate to give that information first. And I mean, Stell is I think when he puts his shows out, he says, I'm going to talk about 50 players. And one of those players may come out and still won't ram it down your throat by going, well, I told you about that player months ago. He kind of does ingesting this. But it is a joke, actually. It's a joke. I mean, I could literally say to you, we're in for Phil Jones, we're in for Pereira, we're in for Lingard, we're in for Tammy Abraham, and if one of them kick in, then that's it. Yeah. That's then I'm getting the credit for it.
The only fear with that, though, Anton, I don't know about yourself, right, is that no one else is going for Pereira. Apart from the only thing I've heard is Leicester. Leicester are looking at him because of Maddison
and Al Hilal as well.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, I really do need to go. I did say initially I could be on for 10 minutes, but thank you for having me. I'll speak soon. Cheers. Sorry, lads. Bye.
Right. I don't know about you, lads, but no one else is really looking at Pereira, considering how well he did. I don't understand why.
But Leicester does worry me because Leicester don't beat around the bush with players, do they?
No.
They don't hang about. I mean, they've signed so many players so far.
That's the worry, mate. If I'm honest, if Leicester come in, they will get him. They will just offer the money and just take him away. And the thing is with Leicester at the minute, it's the Maddison thing. I don't know if either of you know about this, but Maddison's like unknown about contract, I think he is. And I think Arsenal are looking at him. Yeah. And if he goes, he's your ideal replacement for him, isn't it? So let's hope we get him. Let's hope we get him before they do.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a comment. Somebody commented about Areola. I'm not Areola. Oh dear. About Maddison a while ago. I'm trying to. Here it is. Ben Jones says, "Yes, Richard, because I think Maddison will go Arsenal soon as they then they will just blow us out the water as they are more attractive than us. I suppose on paper, Arsenal, big club, attractive, but they haven't got European football. Why would that please Maddison?
He's going to fetch a few bob, isn't he? I mean, he's going to be, 60 million? So, I mean, Leicester just have the money there to throw out.
What it is, Arsenal have got to come back. Arsenal have got to come back all guns blazing, right? And that's a bit of a pun, but they've got to come out. They've got to start spending money because of what happened with the Super League, and they're miles behind everyone else at the minute. So if they go and get Maddison, get Ben White in, and then they add all players around that with the players they've got, they're going to be quite a decent team this season. Do I think Arsenal are better than Leicester? Arsenal are a bigger club. They've got a bigger fan base. They attract different type of prospects because they haven't won anything and they haven't won the league. Doesn't mean to say that they're not a decent opportunity. But if Maddison goes there, mate, then they're going to go straight after Pereira, and that's why I don't like why we're stalling.
Yeah. DG Rusty B's in the place to be. I hope you will, Russ. I mean, you're on holiday. What have you missed? Third kit's been released today. We haven't even talked about that. We have had a double release day. Yeah. The West Ham admin has been busy today. There's big Thomas Suchek covering up Mike there in our new third kit. Lovely, absolutely lovely.
I've got to admit that is one lovely kit. I must admit, even last year the black kit was nice, but that's like a navy, isn't it? It's like a navy
blue.
And I like the light blue on the collars and I think it's a lovely kit.
I can't lie. I got up at 8:30 this morning and saw that, and my eyes were still a bit dreary. And I thought, is that a black kit again? I saw it. Is that another black kit? But then I went into it and saw it.
I like them all. The away shirt. If the blue was a little bit more bolder, I'd like that.
Yeah.
That let me down a little bit. Yeah, but otherwise.
I'm not a fan.
The black kit was absolutely lucky for us last year, though, wasn't it?
Well, it was,
to be honest.
Yeah, it was.
Every time we played, we done all right. I think we only lost one game with it. City away.
looking good with Yarmolenko on the back for Jake's birthday. I've already got the home kit. With a proper player on the back, with a proper footballer, Mark Noble on the back, not that Ukrainian so-and-so. Anyway, why do we have to talk about it? And this is a positive show with signed a player, as somebody's always got to bring up Andrei Yarmolenko. Right, let's scroll up. Right, let's see what people are saying about not Angel. Oh my god, about it said Diop. Freshfielder says Diop looks nervous on the ball at the time. At all the time. Makes Dawson look like Maradona. I completely agree. Kent says Diop is still a baby in centre back terms. He's a Rolls Royce. I really like him. I saw Diop do well. I think we all do. Tom says Diop will come good. Eamon says I like Diop. I think this season with European football, he might well kick on again. Yeah, I completely agree. P. Gad says Diop just can't judge that over the top ball. He gets beat on it every time. That's why the goals were coming in at the end of the season. The other teams figured out. I completely agree. And the game that springs to mind was that Burnley game. He did one with Chris Wood. They scored, and they did exactly the same thing and nearly scored again.
Yeah,
I don't understand. Thing is, though, Jake, just to sort of counter that, and I'm not just like playing devil's advocate here or nothing, but if everyone is going to start nitpicking one silly little things that he's doing, like there's been games before where Cresswell has been absolutely destroyed by pacey wide men, and Dawson's Southampton, Arsenal, just even Newcastle to a point, and I understand it with Diop, but there comes a time where you've either got to put up with him, or you just got to go, you know what, that's it. Like, I can't deal with him anymore. Like, he's been here how long now? 3 years, I think. Like Pellegrini signed him, I think it was 2018, I think it was, or 19. So he's been here a good few years. I think this year's his last year myself. I think we'll know by the end of this season if he's the player that we expect.
Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. I think the reason people really didn't turn on Craig Dawson, I mean, we were all fuming with it, but I think it was probably because of how many games he's kept us in. Kept us in that last half of the season. That's just a guess. Though. Here we go. 50 likes and Jake pays for KFC. Well, we've got it at 51 likes. Well, there we go. Thanks, CB.
I think Dawson, he could get a run out in the European games, and the paces of those slower, and it might suit him more. With Diop, like I said earlier, I want him to succeed. I really do. And it's just a mental thing, which that can be sorted. That's something that you pick up with experience. So, I think I just hope.
I think he's too timid. I just think he's too timid for the league. Do you know, when I look at Zouma, for instance, Zouma gets stuck in. He's like a bulldozer going through things. Right. When I look at Diop, he's very. People say he's nervy. I just think he just doesn't understand the Premier League as it's proper rough and ready sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Let me ask you this, the pair of yous, right? Who would be your ideal defensive pairing?
Ogbonna and if we're talking realistically, I can't say about these Milenkovic and whoever the other one is. I forgot his name because I haven't seen them play. I haven't seen them play. Zouma, I've seen play. I think he's a good backup. I don't think he's really proven himself as a first team European centre back, in my opinion. But that could happen. I don't know who else we've really been linked with that I've went. Yeah, he's a good player, to be honest. Mike, any ideas?
If you're talking to me about who we've got there at the moment, I probably would go with Ogbonna and Diop, to be totally honest, to start with. But if you want to bring someone in, and then we're talking about Zouma, I think, Zouma and Ogbonna could play together. I can't see what, that would be a good pair.
I think Zouma would be a great signing, mate. If I'm honest, I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, he had a little spell early on in his career where it didn't look that good on the ball, but I've watched him since, and he's improved a lot.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and there was wrong comment. Scott says I saw James Tarkowski from Burnley, but the one I did mean to flick on was Stones for 50 million this year, and now he's England's second choice. Well, he's in the team. Who knows? Who knows? There's been talk. I haven't seen him play Sven Botman. He's been linked. I've seen that. Never seen him play. So I'm not going to comment.
I think he's with Lille, right? Lille, and they won the league last year. So he's got to be after these if he's winning the league. Like, I know it's the French league, and there's really, when you look at the French league, you look at PSG and the rest. And but you just don't know. The problem is with someone like that, they can go and do it over there. They come over here, a bit like Diop. Could be the same thing again. You know what I mean?
John,
I think we need a centre half and a left back. A left back, we have to get a left back this season. 100%.
But the one thing that has gone quiet and it is worrying me is a central midfielder. No one's ramming home that we need a central midfielder. We've got Noble, we've got Declan Rice and Thomas Souček. People will say we've got Connor Coventry, Force, and these players. I don't think, and it was proven last season that David Moyes didn't want to chuck Coventry on there. It has been linked. Somebody put on Twitter that X has said that he's taking a liking to Connor Coventry. Maybe that's the reason why David Moyes, there hasn't been links since Alex Crowell broke down of signing a central defensive midfielder.
I think
what it is, though, Jake. Sorry, am I out to say this? Yeah, I think what it is. I think Manuel Lanzini is going to be the deep lining midfielder.
I forgot about him. Yeah. Bingo.
Yeah, and I think what it is, he's going to be playing as not an attacking midfielder. So, Joe, like the game at Burnley, when we all go back to Burnley away, when he come in and covered for Rice. That is what I can see happening. Yeah. I think Connor Coventry, before I hand over to Mike, I think is his last chance to loan for him this year. He has to perform. Otherwise, I don't think he will make it at West Ham. Right? I understand when people say about youngsters, right? But it took Declan Rice 4 years to be the player he is now. Let's not kid ourselves. He didn't. When the first game he ever played for West Ham, he got destroyed at Liverpool, and he got subbed off at half time. So, there you go, Mike. All yours, mate.
I think he's obviously done all right in these friendlies, but friendlies are a different thing altogether. And I mean, when you get out and play a Premier League game, totally different. But I think he'll get chances in Europa League, League Cup. I think he'll get chances. Moyes sees something in him. He probably wants to have a look at him. There is other youngsters as well. What's that? Ewa.
Ewa is a good player, Chelsea.
I watched him in one of the friendlies, and he's a strong boy. He's good on the ball as well. Yeah. And he's another, just maybe get a few run-outs in cup games and whatever. And probably Moyes has had a look at them. He's thinking, hang on a minute, we're going to spend a lot of money, and we got a couple of lads here that might do a job, not in the Premier League week in, week out, but in some of these cup games. Yeah. So I can see them boys having a little bit of a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just going off topic a minute, I've just seen something on Twitter and it's really made me smile. Sean Dyche or Man City potentially spending £160 million on Harry Kane. He said, to be honest, I couldn't work out whether they were buying a club or a player. That made me laugh. It's a little bit off topic, but that did make me laugh. Let's have a look at some comments. Let's scroll up. Phil Jones can play CDM. Phil Jones isn't coming to West Ham.
Don't do it. No.
Let's have a look here. Blue Sausage says we need a striker if Antonio gets injured, we're in trouble. I think Jared Bowen will step in there, but we definitely need a striker. Tammy Abraham, if I was in charge within a day, he'd be at West Ham, and hopefully, if he wanted it, he'd be signing on that dotted line because he is a goal scorer, Premier League goal scorer that we need. I've said it for a while, and I've said for a long time that I wouldn't pay any more than £25 million for him, but I really would like him to come to West Ham. Thoughts on that? Anybody?
Yeah, I like him.
I agree. Yeah, go on, Mike. Go on.
No, I like him, and like Jake's just said, he's banging goals in the Premier League. He got left out. Tuchel didn't like something about him, but I mean, flipping out. I mean, he's proven. So for me, I think they're going to want what do they want? 30 million for him. If we could meet somewhere in the middle, maybe I think he's worth it. I think he's worth 20, 25. If
Yeah.
we can get that deal done, I think that's a must.
Yeah. Apparently Fabrizio Romano is going to tweet something about Matthias Pereira in the coming hours, so we'll have some news on that tomorrow, hopefully. Everything's heating up, guys. To finish off, we're going to take a few comments. Everything's heating up. I hope it's going to continue to heat up. You know, we've got transfers, we've got takeovers, we've got a double T. You know, we've had about 3 weeks of nothing and screaming for something to happen. Now we've had the third kit takeover, transfers, everything's happening.
Typical West Ham.
It is, mate. Leave it to the last few moments. I think just to counter what Mike was saying about Abraham. I like Abraham, but there's one player that no one seems to mention, and everyone has just gone completely under the radar. Zouma. Zouma, I think he's a player we definitely can get from Slavia. If we do what we've done with this sort of the payment plan that we've done with Souček and Kafel, obviously we paid Kafel straight up, but with Souček we've done like a little payment plan thing, and I think Zouma's a good shout and all. Do you know what I mean? But we definitely need a striker at this club. We cannot keep going around having wingers as strikers. It just don't work. I know people say Antonio and Arnautovic, but how long are you going to keep doing that until you pay the money, you get Tammy Abraham. Tammy Abraham for us scores 15 to 20 goals. That's no joke. He will not miss the chances that Antonio misses. So yeah.
And I think the Slavia Prague president said he will be on his way out of Slavia Prague this summer. Hopefully, it is to the bowl, to the London Stadium, but we'll just have to wait and see. Right. Luke says Ings or Tammy Abraham. Straight answer, Mike.
Tammy for me. Ings is another one. He picks up too many injuries, and we've got enough of them. You can imagine that.
Yeah.
We'd have it. He'd get injured first game. Antonio get injured, and both our strikers have been sat on a treatment table for about 3 months. You can imagine it, can't you?
Yeah, we have Craig Dawson up front. Tammy for me, mate. I totally agree with what Mike just said. Ings gets injured too many times in the season, hamstring problems and stuff. So yeah, Tammy for me.
Yeah, I agree. Let's take some more comments. Man like Seema, indeed. CB. Let's scroll up and have a look at a few more comments. Mark says, I remember Rice struggling early on, but thought he turned it around very quickly, and we knew we had a player on our hands in no time at all. Yes, we did. Josh says, I got a feeling we will miss out on Tammy Abraham and end up with Origi or something. Tammy's been linked with Arsenal as well. It's just which one he will go to. I can't really see him going to Arsenal. Chelsea to Arsenal.
He's an Arsenal fan though, mate. That's the only problem with it. Yeah, that's the only thing with it. He plays for Chelsea. I see a thing on social media or something. He plays for Chelsea, but he supports the Arsenal. And the only thing there is, where does he fit? He's got a Bangang there. You got him there. You'd have Lacazette. So that'd be interesting. If I'm honest, I don't think we'll get Tammy because I just don't think we've got the money to pay him. If I'm honest, do you know what I mean? I think we get someone like Adam Armstrong or someone like that. Don't be surprised if someone like from Blackburn, like Adam Armstrong or something, because he's in the final year of his contract at Blackburn, and Blackburn was like 25 million from him, right? His final year. And a lot of teams are turning it away because they're going, you know what, we'll wait till the last day of the window, offer them something like 15 million. And if they turn it down, then he's in January, he could go for that anyway. So they're not going to lose anything. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Tammy Beaumont, Tammy, no, not Tammy Beaumont, Tammy, whoever that is. No, Tammy Abraham. Tammy Abraham. Any last thoughts, ideas, comments before we wrap things up then, lads?
I think we need a left back. I know I've said it on your show previous, and Scott, who's in your chat, will vouch for this. Cresswell didn't have a good game at Celtic away, and I like Cresswell. It's not knocking Cresswell. I just want to hear your thoughts before you wrap it up. But I'm not knocking Cresswell because he's a good player and he's good in the free. But when he goes to a 4, he gets exposed. And I think we need a bit of youth back there, like a bit of pace. Like when you look at Kafal, for instance, Kafal is when we signed Kafal, I think every West Ham fan went, you know what, that's a decent player straight away. Like even in his first game at Leicester, and I just think we need a left back. I just want to know what your thoughts are on that.
Mike?
Yeah, well, I think we've got 3 right backs, haven't we? And it's no good trying to keep throwing Johnson over to play left back because he's just out of position, and he struggled there. And it's not fair on the lad to be. I think do you see the goal he scored in one of the friendlies? I mean, he's always got ability. There's no doubt about it, And defensively, I think he's sound as well. James is dead right. I mean, we could offload Fredericks and get a left back in if we need to do that.
I think we need it. I think we need a left back, but I think hopefully we've got enough money there to get one. I don't think we should get rid of Fredericks. I've said this before. I think he could be an asset in Europa League or cup games or whatever. Whether a right back or right wing.
An option, I would take that as an option if that had to be the option.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't have to be. Full stop.
Yeah.
Not really.
No.
Well, we will just have to wait and see. Anyway, how many likes are we up to? I've got rid of my screen. That is fantastic. I don't think we're going to get to 60 likes, but we got to my first target. We got to my second target, so that's not bad. We are on 53 likes, so we're nearly there. We will get 60 likes whenever. Anyway, thank you very much, Anton, earlier on, Mike and James, for coming on this evening. It's a good evening, and tune in 58 minutes time. I will be back for an interview with football super agent Godfrey Torto later on, so check that out. It is on the channel. I will whack the link in the chat in 58 minutes time. Thank you very much, lads, for coming on.
No worries, mate. Anytime.
Come on, you guys, James.
I would do it because we signed the player, lads. Next week. We better sign another one.
Hang on. Right, this is gold. Come on, James. You've got the show.
See, look, this is the one moment, that you're going to see this, right? I will do that, but I want to see more signings at our club as soon as possible. Thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People are talking about cricket bats. I will lift my cricket bat. There we go. And you can't even see it. I got 53 likes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Right, let's put that down before I break it. And let's take me out of full screen. Thank you very much. Tom wants Phil Jones. Announced. Go on, Mike. Really? Come on. This is Mike's reaction. Mike just doesn't want it. Oh no! Look at it.
It could be worse, mate. It could be worse. It could be Phil Bardsley. Then you.
Yeah, I know.
We'll be done.
Oh, mate, I've heard that one as well. Oh dear.
There we go. Oh look, we're at the 56 likes or 56 runs. There we go. Oh Christ. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Drop a like on the video. That was my phone there. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. And yeah, thanks lads. Come on, you irons. And we'll see you forever.